morning. Hope everybody is okay. Did you follow the last class material and did you copy down? I hope everybody has done it. Now some people other than your class, people from different areas, they send me a lot of doubts. And among you, some people also ask me some doubts. And everybody's doubt will be clarified. You take some time. We are ready to clarify. We are now studying modern grammar, not traditional grammar. So normally you will get some confusions. Some students, even from out of Kerala, they have sent me some good remarks. And even my mailbox, people send so many queries, even in WhatsApp number. Some people find it difficult to get my MOB number. And sure, I will give my MOB number today. And the mail ID also I will give you. You can send me all the doubts. Whatever difficulty you feel in the field of modern grammar, especially phrase structural grammar, TGE grammar, what is to say more, your supra-sentential grammar. All this grammar, in once coming to the modern structure, we depend each other mutually and give you the total concepts. Last 2-3 classes I have been giving you an introduction and different thoughts maintained by different schools of grammar. Do you remember? One traditional grammar is there. Second one, structural grammar is there. Phrase structural grammar is there. Transformational generative grammar is there. And latest one, pseudo grammar, what is called supra-sentential grammar is there. All these are interconnected. At the same time, they have their own identity. It is better to say structural grammar takes its birth on the defects of traditional grammar. Or what is phrase structural grammar may be, they have been researching all the defects of structural grammar. Likewise, TG appeared, transformation generative grammar appeared, then recent one, supra-sentential grammar appeared. So all the main features related to all the grammar schools I have given you. So you keep in the correct order. And the main features that you keep in your pocket. And approach in this way. Once we directly enter to the 5th module, now I am dealing with your 5th module. Main area in the middle, they give you word order or word class, word order. That is very important area, word order. Actually, it is the order generated from the beginning, now reached here in the modern grammar. You remember what is already told about word order? We have main word order in the basis of subject followed by verb followed by object. Already done in the previous class. But you remember, once you go through the degree level, again you have to understand the real difficult basis of word orders. Am I right? You follow me? So, what is word order? Basically, you keep in the main area that 3 important areas are there in the word order. Besides What is meant by traditional grammarian that I told you? Word order should be systematic. You remember in the previous class. Word order should be systematic. It is written in non-flexible way. Am I right? What is meant by non-flexible way? In English language, in the active voice, in the sentences, you follow only this method. Already discussed in detail in the previous class. Am I right? You follow me? What was that 2 stages? It should be in the systematic order and it should be meaningful. You refer to the previous classes, you will get. So, first point you keep in mind, it should be in the order, systematic order, non-flexible order. What is non-flexible order? S plus V plus O. Subject should come first, verb comes should second, then object. It has an order, that is word order. So, after systematic, non-flexible method of way of writing, then you check. What to check? Meaning. If meaning is okay, sentence is okay. That is the concept of traditional grammarians. Later, this word order has got different dimensions. This is what I continue from the basic classes, what we have done in the previous sessions. Are you okay? You understand me? So, this dimension after systematic order, after meaningfulness, then you go to 3 dimensions. The first one, phonological order. Phonological order. Then, second one, syntactical order. Syntactical order. The third one, all right, analysis. Analysis. What is meant by phonological order? This analysis somewhat we call morphological order. Some grammarians say morphological order. Morphology. All these are areas to be discussed in later few units. So at first you keep in mind word order. After discussing systematic order, after that meaningfulness, then you reach 3 dimensions. First one, phonological, related to sound system, word order. Because depending on the sound, depending on the stress, depending on the intonation, sentence will get a different meaning. And after that, syntactical, sentence connections. What is meant by syntax? This is a very new term for you. Syntax means nothing but it is a sentence. Syntax means sentence. Then we get a morphological order. Morphology coming later. Related to all the words and how particular word can be modified to different word by adding certain morphemes. That will come later. But what I want to tell you, all these 3 areas are integrated in the way that they cannot be disconnected. Are you okay? You understand me? So, subject, verb, object, simply don't say it is an order. Word order has many segments, many divisions or dimensions. All these dimensions you have to keep in memory. Then only you can put it in the correct order. Because we study language. A language keeps changes. Every day, every minute it has changed. Then to approach language, you should study grammar in the proper way. That is why still people are doing many researches. You know, Kerala government now plans to take applied linguistics is a main core subject for integrated program. A couple of days ago, newspaper, there was a news by Department of Education. They are going to start applied linguistics as a major core area in the research level. Means that you people will get different opportunities in future. So study grammar, language, linguistics properly. So this is the area that I will try to explain one example for phonological dimension. Example I will give you, probably it is repeating the first 2-3 classes I gave you. We will take phonology. Mary gave me a pen. Look, Mary gave me or John, you put John. Mary gave John a pen. What is the phonological dimension given to this sentence? Suppose you give a stress on pen. What does it mean? Mary gave John a pen. A pen. Pen is stressed. What does it mean? Nothing else but pen. Nothing else but pen given. But whereas you go to stress on John, you will get Mary gave John a pen. Not Sunny, not Smion, not Adarsh, or not Rennie or Renoy, but John. It was given to John. What? A pen. And suppose you stress Mary. Again, Mary gave John a pen. Mary gave a pen, gave John a pen. Means it is not somebody else, but Mary only I saw myself. It is not Sabida, but Mary gave pen. Look. So what does it mean? You understand me? Are you with me? Or I lost some of you out? Are you here? Okay. Mary gave John a pen. 3 dimensions coming. This is what meant by phonological level order should be kept in the correct way. Then syntactical way, then morphological way. Again this area coming in the future unit. So what I try to tell you, simply don't say S plus V plus O order. In the previous class, I mentioned that 2 important platforms are to be kept in mind for keeping a good sentence. What is that? First one is systematic order. Second one, meaningfulness. Third one, going through these dimensions, sentence should be correct and accurate. Then only we can say that sentence is good one or bad one. So we can say, all right, before entering word order, then S plus V plus O already done, and we slowly go to, all right, we slowly go to change third one, all right, this one word order, then S plus V plus O, second one S plus PRE. What is this concept? I already discussed in the previous class what is S plus PRE. Once you get a S plus V plus O, how to identify predicate? As so many people do not know, but I tell you, what is the predicate part? Simply you underline V plus O, you will get a predicate. S plus PRE over. You refer to traditional grammar books, all the grammar books written by traditional grammarians, first 2-3 chapters related to these 3 areas. Once you get 3 elements, sometimes all the elements will be written in the disorder way, you keep in the correct way. Then identify S plus V plus O. Okay, then you identify PRE. How to do? How to do? You may ask me. I'll tell you. You take mat, A, sat, a cat. What did you get from this? Mat, A, sat, a cat. First attempt to put in the word order. Identify S plus V plus O. Identify S plus VRE. This is what is called. Again, this area coming in the last unit, fifth unit last. Again, they are interconnected. So once you get different concepts, am I right? You keep them in the systematic order. Then meaningfulness check. Okay. Then elements check. Then S plus PRE. How to identify? Find out verb, find out object, underline predicate. Then you will get mat, sat, cat. How to identify? You understand the cat first. Why? Cat is the subject written here. Cat. Probably a cat. You write a cat. Then sat here on also. Sat on a mat. Look here. Cat sat on a mat. You will get a subject. You will get a verb. You will get an object. Then third step you identify. Put a plus here. You underline here. You will get a PRE, means S plus PRE over. Concepts of traditional grammarians. So what do I try to tell you? I try to tell you modern grammar is based on traditional grammar. The first area that they divide sentence in different way. What they have done previously and label in different way. So according to modern times, you study modern labels. Then keep in mind, things will be easy. Are you okay? You understand? Agreed? Okay. Then third step is over here. Then again coming to this topic. This topic is related to TG grammar. People always ask me when they write essay topic, sir, when I write essay, 1 or 2 paragraphs, after that I lose a lot of concepts, lot of ideas, but I do not connect. I cannot connect sentence by sentence, sir. And being a grammarian, being a linguist, I would tell my students, you go to Jeffrey Leach, Communicative English Grammar, a very beautiful book. What title I told? Communicative English Grammar, written by Jeffrey Leach. He brings out a beautiful concept, how you can develop a small sentence to a bigger one. Not adding so many other clauses and other sentences, but you take a simple concept, then you make it a big one. How? I'll tell you one example. This process that you keep in mind, then in the essay level or whatever paragraph level you write a sentence, you would never think about scarcity of lack of words. Or just to keep some beautiful vocabulary in your brain. Then you develop this method. This method is the fourth step. What is called NGP, VGP, NGP. I'll explain. What example we take? Cat sat on a mat. Simple example. What I want to tell you, how you will reach in this step, enlargement step. What is the process? How is it useful? Our duty you count. Cat is subject, sat verb, on a mat object. You put a predicate. How many words written? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many words written here on the board? Only 5. Means what? There is a full stop, one capital letter, sentence over, S, V, O, S, P, R, E, O, everything is there. Sentence is okay, meaningful, systematically ordered. But there is no, what is called, the quality of a sentence. How can this quality be improved? Jeffrey Leach explains. He brings out the process, what is called enlargement process, which will be very highly useful for your essay writing or story writing, or even you check in the newspaper one paragraph. This process is done by all the journalists. Have you come across in the old grammar book or in the classes anywhere you learned or anybody taught you enlargement process? So understand this process now and keep in a very serious way. This will help you in future. What is this process? First thing that we have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. We are going to add so many words to this sentence. By which way? First you take a cat. You take a cat, which is a subject, is equal to n. Subject will be always n. Am I right? What is a subject? Subject should be always a noun. And this is a noun. And sat, you take a sat here. So sat. Okay. First they ask you, this is subject. This subject has a potential of developing itself. You follow me? Once you underline, specify subject, then you think about how this subject can be developed. You follow me? Are you with me? You understand me? How this subject can be developed. Suppose Renoy develops this cat. Renoy develops this cat, a black cat. Look, this cat is developed by a black cat. Why black cat? Because Renoy likes black cat, not white cat. So he wrote black here. A black cat. Then this is sat. So this cat is the word taken from the basic sentence kept here, which is a noun. And what is this? A and black. Quality is added to cat. It is not a white cat but black cat. Am I right? So it has become a cat friends. A black, those two words are friends of cat. Then they are called, according to suprasentential grammar, they are called NGP. They are called NGP. What is meant by NGP? Don't worry. NGP is called noun group. Some grammarians, modern grammarians call NGP. TG grammarians and phrase structural grammarians call NP. What is NP? Noun phrase. Some people call NPH. NPH means noun phrase. How NGP developed now? You take a basic concept subject here, then add some words from the back. From the back means what all possible adjectives or modifiers you can use here. Automatically cat will be added by so many other words from the back. You understand me? That will be shown in this way. This is the noun. Then added by so many words to this noun from the back. Circled and circled, circled and circled. You will get a group. That group is called a noun group. Again, noun group. After getting this noun group, you understand what all the elements here. This is equal to subject. Subject is equal to NGP or NP. In modern grammar, NP. Earlier, NGP. Jeffrey Leach says NGP. What NGP? A black cat. A black cat. From this NGP group of words which come together with N, which all the first one is determiner. A determiner. Analysis over. Analytical standard of word order. Analytical. Morphological level. Then you got a determiner A. Then you will get a black. Black is ADJ, or what is called black to cat, not a white cat. Am I right? Then black cat. Then you will get a noun. This noun, according to Jeffrey Leach, it is headway, means head of the group. Story never finishes here. You add as many words as possible which are suitable to the headway cat. Automatically cat as a one entity will be slowly developed. You follow me? Are you with me? Understand me? So my idea, intention to tell you how single, symbol, and subject can be developed by adding so many elements from the back, especially determiners and adjectives that you study traditional grammar, adjectives, ADJ, modern grammar, modifiers. All these modifiers which are written from the back in order to develop a N which will become NGP or NP or NPH, automatically one word will become a group. In the same way, you go to SAT. This is SAT is past tense, past time reference. At example, you write had been sitting. All right, had been sitting. It was sat there. Now became 1, 2, 3. So here 3 words. Here 3 words. Sitting is verb. Is equal to V becomes VGP. Structure will be NGP, VGP. Why group? More than one word stand appear together. More than one word appear together in a particular position is called group. So this is NGP, this is VGP. Means 2 more words added. Likewise, you go to opposition on a mat. On a mat itself is NGP, but we can add more words suitably. Example, on a green, all right, long mat. Look here, there were only 3 words. But now by developing NGP on a green long mat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Example, here 5, here 3. Basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simply developing the subject, simply developing the verb, simply developing the object, you will get a 3 plus 3 plus 5 means 11 words. Instead of 5 words, now you got 11 words. Means developed, means enlarged, means this is the process called the enlargement process. And again, suppose you write a black cat, a black one-eyed cat. Look here, a black one-eyed cat. Again, 2 words added. 11 plus 2 is equal to 13 words. Instead of 5 words, you get now 13 words to prepare a big sentence. And this process is called enlargement process by phrase structural grammarians and DG grammarians. So enlargement process keep in the mind. Once you approach an essay writing, paragraph writing, what is the possibility of development? Possibility of development, add as many modifiers or determiners from the back of the noun. you will get a NGP. N will be developed to S will be developed to NGP, NGP same NPH, NPH same NP. Are you okay? You understand me? So keep in mind, enlargement is a process by which you can make a big sentence out of a small sentence. And this process is very compulsory among the students, that you study in the correct way, then you can write beautiful sentences within the sentence. This is the process. Jeffrey Leach gives two important methods of enlargement. What did you understand by enlargement? Enlargement is a process by which you can make a small sentence into a big sentence. How? Subject to be developed to NGP, verb to be developed to VGP, object will be enlarged to another NGP. Add more NGP if possible, then sentence will be the lengthier one. This is the process. So Jeffrey Leach gives two enlargement process. One is called attributive. What is called attributive? Second one he calls epithet. Two process he brings. Enlargement, attributive enlargement means what we have done now. Again I explain attributive enlargement, adding modifiers from the back, on the back of a noun. Wherever noun possible. Normally S and O will be enjoyed by noun. These nouns can be supported from the back. A black, one-eyed cat. Cat is supported from the back. This process is called attributive. Attributive function is a very big function of modifiers. Means adjectives. Then normally you will ask me, what is epithet? Epithet function is different. I will show you example. Epithet function. Epithet function, we add some attribution, we add some qualities, not from the back, but after the subject. Example, the baby, all right, baby is sitting on the chair is my sister. Example, look here, the baby is the S is equal to NGP, determiner the, article determiner the, NGP, baby, noun, headword, sitting on the chair, not on the bench, not on the alamira, not on the tower of a clock, but sitting on the chair. Sitting on the chair. The baby sitting on the chair is my sister. Means this additional qualification coming after the subject which was NGP, later part means not from the back but friend. Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you follow me? Or I lost you somewhere else thinking about lunch? You. This is the way. After the subject you put qualification. Another beautiful example is the, all right, Alexander, all right, comma, the great. This great, Alexander the Great, conquered India. Alexander the Great conquered India. Means what? The Great coming after Alexander. This is the modern method of grammar that you study. This called epithet enlargement. So what did I try to tell you? In order to get a big sentence which is useful to make a beautiful paragraph, you keep in mind same idea, same sentence can be developed within itself. Within itself means what? S to be developed, V to be developed, O to be developed, and for that development purpose you depend enlargement process. Then you go to attributive way, if possible, epithet way. That is why I tell you, you refer to any paragraph of any English newspaper, you will get 2, 3, 4 attributive and epithet enlargement every day. Why? They depend on this process. I hope everything is clear to you, right? Is it clear? So, in order to make a big sentence, what must we do? We should do the process of enlargement. Then word order is taken in another dimension. It is not my contribution. Jeffrey Leach, Communicative English Grammar book you refer. Then you will get an enlargement process. Your language will be strong. Your sentence will be strong. Your essay will be strong. Paragraph will be strong. Add some good ideas, good vocabulary items, cohesive and connectives, put inside, paragraph will be very dynamic. So keep this enlargement process in the mind, then you will get a, so this is the enlargement process. So automatically you reach NGP, VGP, NGP. In the same NGP is called NP. PG grammarians call NPH. Modern grammarians call NP. Some people call NPH. And what is this? It is a group. What is a group? It is a phrase. What is a phrase? It is a group. What is a phrase? Group of words appear together on a particular position. So we have to identify the words. So first one, normally you can take one more example, then we will finish enlargement process. I thought all these areas will be done today. I don't know how to finish. The girl sits near the door. Another is a black. The girl sitting near the door, like sitting on the chair, is my daughter like. You can take this process by which you take examples. Now automatically you get word classes. Word class is the main topic. After enlargement, we take word forms and pause. What is written there? Pause. Pause is nothing. Pause is nothing. Parts of speech. Modern grammarians call parts of speech. Suprasentential grammarians call word forms. The same thing. You go to traditional grammar, they call parts of speeches. Modern grammarians putting another label. That label is called word forms. What is word form? Nothing. The same thing. You take N, you will take a PN, you will take a ADJ, then you will take a V, then you will take a ADV, then you will take a prep, then you will take a conjunction, then you will take interjection, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause, finish. Traditional grammarian. Modern grammarians add N, PN, ADJ, V, ADV, prep, conjunction, interjection. Then they add one more, determiner. So old grammarians have 8. Modern grammarians have 9. Determiner has 3 dimensions. We will teach you later. But what is meant by pause? Pause means word forms. We get word forms, different forms. And these forms are classified into an extraordinary modern grammar. Modern grammarians divide all these areas. Are you okay? Traditional grammarians 8, modern grammarians 9, and all these 9 areas they divide into 2. Alright, that is called form class and function class. Alright, form class, and now we are dealing with the pause and word forms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finish. We go in a systematic way. Are you okay? You understand me? So, what is meant by word forms? They will ask you in the question, either in the written exam or in the YOC. Word forms means parts of speeches. All these parts of speeches are one more added and later they are segmented, they are divided into two sections. One section is form class, another one is function class. How to identify them? All right, form class and function means function means how they function, how noun can be function, now how verb can be function. So in the function class you can put form class. Form class here, noun is a form word, pronoun is a form word, adj is a form word, verb is a form word, then add verb is a form word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add all the out of 8 or 9, 5 are form class words. It is not my description. Modern grammarians call them. Just forget about parts of speech. It is traditional grammar. We study modern grammar. So form class means out of 9 parts of speeches, they divide into 2. First section is form class. Second section is function class. What is the function class? What is the function class? Function class is all the structural words. Example, preposition, example, conjunction, example, what is called interjunction. All these are function class, all the structural grammar. Example, ox and pox and everything coming. Example, then full word. What is example? All these nouns. Form class words, form class adjectives. Example, you take one word, tree. Last class I mentioned, tree. You will get a picture. It will become a form class. But you refer is, no picture. They are called structural words. They are called functional words. So, to classification, all the posts and all the areas given, vocabulary given, all they are divided into 2 sections. One is form class, one is function class. Form class, how to identify? They will give you a picture. Are you okay? That is why tree, you get a picture. Simple picture you will get. Alright, you will get a simple picture. Is, are, no. So they are called function words, structural words. So words forms, we have to identify them. What are the form classes? How they are classified, and what is the main differences between form class and function class. That I will continue next class. Okay, till then. Okay, I will give you my telephone number. If you want, some people, they report to collect my number in difficulty. This is my telephone number. Alright, WhatsApp number also. Okay, you can copy down and you can send me all the doubts you have, so that one of you have put so many queries, and I appreciate here. Or even the examples that I use here, they like very much. And I also thank you very much attending my class. Okay, thank you.